Vatican created Islam? Perhaps Alex can comment on that.
I've heard that as well, but I have not spent any time or any focus on that whatsoever. You know, you have to realize that the Vatican is and was the government of Rome. Now, there was a government with the Roman Senate, etc. But when the Republic of Rome, that's what they call themselves, collapsed, Europe changed and we had the Renaissance. But the actual government of Rome remained intact. They just moved from being politicians to priests and cardinals. But the wealth, the banking control, the trusts that they had set up declaring that they own, and they still believe they own all of the Roman Empire, the old Roman Empire, that's always remained intact, okay? Now, I've been somewhat critical of Christianity in the extent that here you have a church that's supposed to be representing Christ, and the place is, and it's an absolute snake pit. It's an absolute snake pit of corruption, pedophilia, the whole 9 yards. That's the tip of the iceberg. Okay? I don't see how it represents Christ in any way, which is why I'm always suspect of anything they tell me I have to believe, which is why I don't. I typically will go the other way. You know, you lead by example. I haven't seen any of that from them. Not ever. Even when I was an altar boy, I didn't see any of that. So, it wouldn't surprise me at all to the extent that why they did it. Maybe it was a way of rallying the troops, you know, divide and conquer. Maybe they wanted to, they created the animosity for a power trip to keep parts of the world divided, to hide the fact that much of Christianity was founded on Buddhism. Maybe it's any and all of those things. It's hard to say. It's really, really hard to say. Or when the Middle Eastern countries were rebelling, Rome was losing some of its power and its wealth in these Middle Eastern countries because much of that was at one time the old Roman Empire. It's hard to say. I haven't looked into it, but nothing surprises me. My dad, when I was a kid, I was 12 or 13, gave me a book. It was called oh my God, I can't believe I just forgot it. Something to the effect, The Wealth of Rome. And I've tried looking for it, but it talked about how the church owned 90%, the Roman Catholic Church owned 90% of Coca-Cola's foreign stock. And oil companies, diamond mines, it's just a corporation. That's all it is. You know, a corporation wrapped in a church that actually is a trust. That's all it is. You know, so, that's one of those things where, it isn't and never was what we always thought it was, So, anyway, okay.
William and Stephanie Pepper, we seem to be in a lull of chemtrail activity. Is this just a hiatus, or is this a real change that we can believe in? And maybe buy you lunch or dinner in Yellum.
Well, definitely introduce yourselves. I haven't done one of these speaking engagements in 10 years, so I'm definitely a fish out of water with these things. I genuinely don't know what to expect, but certainly introduce yourselves, William and Stephanie. And if we can have bread, I'd be happy with that, or a cup of coffee. I hear there's some good coffee up there. I hope it's change we can believe in. Not to quote Obama, but I hope it's change we can believe in. I really do. I am optimistic at this time, and I am doing everything I can to convince myself to be optimistic that real change is coming and it's here. So, we're dealing with a very, very dark energy that has had absolute control of the planet for quite some time. They're not going to go away overnight. They are kicking, screaming, clawing, hissing, the whole 9 yards, barking. It's nasty at that level. It's downright nasty. So, but we have reinforcements. This I know for a fact. They're not fighting the battle for us, except for those entities that are not us, because we can't deal with that issue. But we have assistance, and we're also getting some mentoring. Mentoring's already begun at that level. So it hasn't reached us yet. And the reality of what's been going on is only trickling out now. It's just only trickling out. But good things are coming. I truly believe that. Changing the monetary system worldwide is a major, major piece of this. It really is. Because every country in the world's in debt to them. So that has to change. And it's going to. That is the key piece on a lot of people's minds, as well as eliminating the regressives who have been feeding off of us and the human beings who have completely betrayed humanity through human trafficking, slave trafficking, selling us to groups who are taking us off-world. It's nasty. It's really nasty. And it's gone on way too long. Way too long. So, I'm optimistic. I truly am. I really am.
Lauren is asking, you were given a deep breathing exercise in order for your body to make the most of the new energies hitting the planet. What is it about higher levels of oxygen in the blood that help us adapt? Do you think oxygen supplements could help too? What was this?
Yeah,
so for me, what was the deep breathing exercise?
Can I do that on the next webinar? May I do that? I'll do that on the next webinar. In fact, we will start with that. Okay? I do take a supplement. I myself do. Because of what happened, last year with my heart. I take a nitric oxide supplement, which helps a lot. And I've learned to measure it so that I don't turn beet red. Okay? Walk like an Indian. But to simplify it is I will take 3 very deep breaths, and then I will hold the last one. And I do this as I'm walking. And then when I let go of the third deep breath, I release it very, very slowly. And I say the words, I am at one with all. And I see the breath. As I'm releasing the breath, I'm saying the words, I am at one with all. And I am seeing my breath go directly to the Creator. Through the dimensions, I see the dimensions in my mind, and my breath goes right to the Creator. I am at one with all. And I will do this for 15 to 20 minutes every single day. And it's good. It's good. You should try it.
Okay, now, we got two questions that are very
Sorry,
similar.
it's not glamorous. It's just not. But it's focused intention, you see. It's focused intention. You know, your breath is like a prayer. When you pray, and I'm not talking about just, repeating the same thing over and over again. What I'm saying is when you pray, when you use your words, when you communicate your deepest self to the universe, of which you are absolutely a complete part of, you send out a resonance. Okay, your consciousness, you create a frequency that permeates everything. It goes everywhere. It doesn't stay here in third density. Not at all. It goes straight to the top. And the more you're aware of that, the more you connect to that which is at the top. Because we have been conditioned to narrow our focus to this. This right here, for almost everyone on this planet, is survival. This is what we're operating with. This much focus. When in fact, it's completely unlimited. Test the exercise for yourself. That's all I can tell you. Okay? That's what I was given, and it works real good for me. It does. I still have a sense of humor after all the shit I've been through doing this kind of work and just everything else. I still have a sense of humor, so it works. It works for me anyway. Okay. So I'm sorry, JP. I think we have time for one more.
All right, so there's two questions that are kind of connected, one from Sherry, one from Justin. Something you mentioned previously, but you didn't answer previously. Do hybrids have souls? That's from Sherry. And from Justin, you had previously mentioned there are beings which do not contain soul. Would such a person be considered a part of Source if they do not contain a soul? What happens to them as the consciousness raises?
That's a really, really good question. If you're dealing with a human being that is altered into a hybrid, they would have soul. They're altered, but they would have soul. If a hybrid is literally created in a lab, my understanding is no, there is no soul. And it is, in effect, a robot human being. The brain doesn't get the soul, so therefore there's no template of consciousness in it. So therefore the brain, or the structure that is grown in there, has to be programmed. Literally programmed.